All right, hey, welcome in to the SquadCast. This is episode 50. Max, how's it going? We got episode 50 tonight. We are in the IKS studio bunker here this evening in our wonderful studio. Director Jordan's in the back. We're going to have a good time. Director Jordan's flying solo tonight, Max. As per usual, Superman back there. He's going to run the ship just fine.
Only doubted him for a second, that's all.
And we're going to test him out absolutely throughout the evening as well. Now, Jordan, are you hearing Max okay? Because I'm not hearing Max. That's interesting. Perfect.
Good
Max, you're live.
Stuff. I'm live.
you're on the air.
Good stuff.
How you doing, Max?
I'm doing fantastic, you
Yeah?
know. Jay's in the middle of a 15-2 run. Hopefully, knock on wood, they can come back a little later in this ball game tonight. But, yeah, man, Matty Stafford looks good for the Rams.
There it is. Now I hear
Things,
Max.
Things are looking good. Things are feeling fine in terms of the sports world. And we're just over a month away from NHL hockey resuming. Man, it's great time to be a sports fan. Great time to be a
The Jays
fan.
are on the top of the eighth. It is 2-0 for the Rays right now. And the wrong A's are up. Not the Jays, the Rays. And actually, fun story. Just we're not quite going there yet, but we actually have a live on location interview tonight at the Jays game. We're going to check in with our good buddy. You've seen him in the comments if you watch on Facebook. You've seen him on TikTok. Myron's checking in.
Good get, Clark. Good get.
So we're going to check in with him in about 3 minutes. Myron, sit tight. We're just going to get the show on the road here, and then we'll come to the road to you. So we're going to check in inside Rodgers Stadium. Rodgers Center? Rodgers Arena?
Center. Come on,
Rodgers,
man.
one of
You
them.
new here?
One of the Rodgers. Anyways, welcome into the SquadCast, of course. We are this producer Clark and Mad Max. You are the squad. You are the fanalists. And tonight's episode is brought to you by our friends over at RoxDar Supply Chain Solutions. If you need help with your business, figuring out how to get everything you need to run day to day, operate smoothly, operate efficiently, these guys are the ones, where am I? These guys are the ones that help you out. Roxanne and Darnell over at RoxDar.com. They can help you out. Check it out. Check out their website. See what they can do for you, how they can make your business better. And they're good people, so check them out. RoxDar.com again. And follow them on Twitter, Darnell Theris. Check it out. He's been tweeting a lot lately. There's a lot going on. Sports are, hot and heavy for him. His Eagles are back. His Red Wings are coming back. He's getting back into posting on social media. It's always good to see his opinion. He's got some good ones. Anyways, and as always throughout the evening, I don't know if this is good, Jordan. Ask us. There it is. He was off. Why do I even have to ask? Ask us anything throughout the evening. Send us in your comments. Send us in your chirps, your complaints, whatever you got. Send them in. We want to hear from you throughout the evening. I do have Twitter open, so if you're watching on Twitter, send in your comments on there. I see we have a few viewers over there. If you're watching on YouTube, I will be checking in. I see Snowman in the Mornings checking in from Carolina over on YouTube. I know Uncle Robin Wildy was checking in as well. He's saying, I'm not sure which platform to watch on tonight. Well, that's the good thing about our show. You can watch it on multiple. So you got that going for us.
Welcome to the future.
John Ohm is saying, let's go, Jays. Let's go, Jays. So that's good. And
Is
again,
that how John Ohm sounds?
John, does that sound like you? I think I did a pretty good impression.
Not bad.
John Ohm also says, happy 50th. Now, I think I have control over the graphics tonight. So is it going to work?
Oh, look at you.
Is it going to work? There it is.
Earning
Jordan
that.
didn't have the layer on. There it is. Let's go, Jays. So happy 50th. Now, the comments, I picked the wrong color scheme today.
Did you ever?
Not ideal, but we're going to roll with it anyways. So, yeah, Robin's saying, Facebook or YouTube, where should I watch? Make sure you hit us with a like and a share tonight on our Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. If you're watching on Twitter, hit that retweet, hit that like. Look at this. They switched it up for us.
Man, that
Jordan's just on the ball.
That Jordan is just...
You bring the guy smile cookies from Tim Hortons, and he's in a better mood tonight.
So what's that song called? Some Kind of Wonderful? That's just our director.
It's the you know what? I found a dime on the floor. I gave it to him. He said it's the 10-cent
The
bonus.
performance incentive, man. It's like Robbie Ray. You get 200 plus Ks all of a sudden.
Absolutely.
People
Now,
are starting
Jordan,
to talk.
now that I'm doing it, I totally understand what you're talking about the published, unpublished thing. Terrible. Anyways, we're moving on. We are going to check in soon. We're going to talk about the Jays now. As of before tonight's game, they were on a 15-2 roll in their last 17 games. unbelievable stretch and beating teams that they've needed to beat. That's the biggest thing. We can't believe they've been beating the Yankees. They beat the A's. They beat the Orioles real bad. I know the Orioles are kind of the bottom dwellers, but you got to beat those teams too.
Gotta beat the teams
They
in front
beat
of
the
you.
Rays in game 1. Now, again, it's a tight one in game 2 against the Rays. They're down 2 runs late in the game.
Smacked them 8-1 last night, though.
But you have to overall be just absolutely enthralled with what is going on with the Blue Jays right now.
I tell you what, accountability, people. Hand up. This is on me. A few weeks ago, I can fully admit, I may have wrote this team off a little bit. What a grave mistake. And you know what? At the end of the day, I am very, very happy this baseball team is proving me wrong. This 15-2 run has been all sorts of wonderful, and I just hope that they can continue
Is that
down
going to be
the
the theme
stretch.
tonight? All sorts of
All
wonderful?
sorts of wonderful. I don't know. I got stuck in my head, and I mean, the song is in my head now
a good
too, which
tune.
is a dangerous, dangerous place to live. But regardless, no, man, 15-2, like you said, they're beating the teams they need to beat. Right? It's the teams that they were chasing. That was the big caveat: was are they going to be able to catch the 3-4 teams in front of them? Well, as of tonight, they have, and you're not going to win every single game down the stretch. Tampa Bay is a very, very good team. I was saying it earlier. If they can find a way to go 3-3 in their last 6 games, they were 1-0 last night. If they end up losing this ball game, that's just the way baseball goes over 162. But at the end of the day, they're competing. They're tight with them, and that's all you want to see, especially after this type of run, not after this type of run, during this type of run that you need to do, you need to have going into the postseason. We talked about it earlier. They couldn't settle for series wins. They had to sweep some teams. They've done that. The teams that were ahead of them, teams that were in front of them. They've taken care of business against the A's, the Yankees, Baltimore. Again, not the greatest team in baseball, and their manager Brandon Hyde should note that when he's yelling at Robbie Ray. But in spite of all that, it's just been a very, very fun run to watch. Can't wait to see it continue, and go Jays, go.
Yeah,
Hand
absolutely.
up. That's on me. Go Jays, go.
Jordan, I was just going to say, Jordan, I just got a report from our on-location reporter, Myron. He says, I can hear you guys, but the video is not working on my end. So Jordan's just going to click a few buttons, see if he can get that going, and we'll head to Myron in a minute. But one note, one stat, and I tagged you in this on Twitter, Max. One stat that I saw today for the Blue Jays specifically in this run, in the last 13 games even more specifically, they are the only team in baseball history, Max. They've been playing baseball a long time.
I hear it's been a while, yeah.
To hit 36-plus home runs and also hit 330 as a group, as a team, over a 13-game stretch ever. And the Jays are doing it right at the right time.
I hear that's good. I hear that's a good thing to be putting up those kinds of numbers headed right into playoffs.
Absolutely. So. They've been getting the pitching. Their offense has been explosive. And, everything's just coming together. They've been playing defense good. They've gotten some big plays at big times. So it's just a really great time for the Jays.
Who's worried about that
Yeah.
Nationals and Tigers 4-game set that we wrote them off during? It's fine.
Can I tell you something about your good buddy? And maybe we'll talk about this later in Bluebird Block a little bit more.
I have a good buddy?
More Blue Jays. Your buddy Gabriel Moreno, star rookie, has been injured for a little bit, but he comes back 3 for 4 in his first game back.
Of course.
Good things are still coming, too.
Good things are still coming along with W's.
Jordan, how are we looking for heading into the stadium? Not very good. Okay, we'll hold on for Myron. This was an experiment, so we're going to see. Hopefully it works. I'd love to check in with Myron in the stadium tonight, but maybe we'll come back to that in a second. NFL Week 1 is in the books, Max, and there's so much going on. And every week, or every year, I should say, on Monday of Week 1, just before Monday Night Football, Overreaction Monday. And boy, was there a lot of overreacting going on in this Monday. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to pick out a few topics, but please, if you're watching and you have something that we don't touch on here, fire it in the comments right now, because I know there's a lot. First off, now again, Jordan's doing a lot of troubleshooting and firefighting back there, but Aaron Rodgers, the topic of du jour was that the Saints obviously came out and punched him in the mouth. We talked to Tori Gurley on the Rod Peterson show today. That was his direct quote. The Saints came out and punched the Packers in the mouth. But what I'm hearing is that Aaron Rodgers sure looked distanced or sure looked disinterested in this team. And obviously with all of the drama and stuff going on in the offseason for him and the Packers management specifically, because he said it's not about the fans, it's not about the team, it's not about the city, it's about the management and how they're handling all of this. Man, he didn't look like he was maybe all there. What do you think about all this situation?
I think you hit it on the head perfectly. It's overreaction Monday. This is Aaron Rodgers we're talking about. I mean,
RELAX.
That's right,
Right?
100%. And
You
you know
did
what?
say that one.
And there's a lot of Packers fans on this side of the prairies, anyways. I know, with them being just kind of directly to the south and over to the left of us. But you know what? When it comes to Aaron Rodgers, there's no reason to doubt this man. With everything that he's accomplished in his career, everybody can say, yeah, he's not made it past a lot of NFC championships or whatever. This is still one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the entire National Football League. And at the end of the day, he had a tumultuous offseason. He had a lot weighing on his mind. If there's anybody I'm betting that's going to bounce back weeks 2 through 17, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. I think it's complete overreaction Monday. It's a tough one for Saints fans in the season opener. Or sorry, not Saints fans. Good one for Saints fans.
Yeah.
Tough one for Packers fans in the season opener when, again, it was an offseason of a bit of turmoil, right? You didn't know what was going to happen with your franchise legend. And at the end of the day, like I said, nobody in my mind stands out as somebody who's going to bounce back better than noted Jeopardy host and reigning MVP, Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to come back. It's going to be just fine in Packerville. We'll see what the cheeseheads say in Wisconsin. But at the end of the day, I have no worries about a week 1 loss. I think it's only going to motivate them further to tighten the ship up, and they'll get it figured out in Green Bay. I have no doubt.
Just a quick message from our good buddy John. There it is. Rodgers needs to be shipped to Denver ASAP. I'm a fan of him and the Packers, but it's time to go, bro.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, anytime there's a marquee quarterback who's on the trade block, you're going to see 1,000 teams line up for this guy. So
That's right.
I think that, I don't think there's too many teams out there that wouldn't be upgraded if they added Aaron Rodgers. But, man, I don't think the Packers would be smart to move him out. Like you said, it's early. It's Aaron Rodgers. Let's see how this plays out.
Teddy Bridgewater looked pretty good for the Denver Broncos as well, too. So at the end of the day.
Topic number 2, Max, and you're pretty pumped about this. Matt Stafford, you called him Lord Stafford, is every bit as advertised in his debut against the Bears. Now, this was a pretty exciting game. I got to watch most of the first half, especially a little bit of the end. Akeem Hicks, you see in the picture here, he had a couple of good bull rushes early on, but Matt Stafford was able to perform, and he got the long-term victory on this one. They stomped the Bears in the end of the day, and you're pretty pleased as a I was going to say St. Louis Rams fan. You're pretty pleased as a Rams fan right now.
100%. And this is not overreaction Monday. This is what was expected of Matt Stafford in this offense. You look at the weapons that he has around him: Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Tyler Higbee. Obviously, they lost Cam Akers before the season even began with the torn Achilles, but Darrell Henderson went out and did some work too. This was just incredibly encouraging. SoFi Stadium looks like an absolute cathedral. Those jerseys, I tell you, I'm going to be getting me one of those if I hit a weight loss goal this fall, because those things look great.
Last year, we were talking a lot about these jerseys, and I think maybe
not
so
these
much
jerseys.
on the
These
show.
are brand new.
These are the new ones?
These are brand new.
These are brand new.
Not the bone road ones
I like
that we're
them.
going to see. Yeah,
I really like these ones.
These are sharp. These looked really good under the Sunday night lights. They looked almost as good as the football team wearing them. But man, oh man, it was just a ton of fun watching a guy go out and be as advertised. I look at Matt Stafford, and it was he's never won a playoff game. He was playing in Detroit, people. He had one weapon over an entire 11-year career with the Detroit Lions. His name is Megatron. He just made it to the Hall of Fame, and Matt Stafford is just entering a time and with a team that actually is going to play up to his standards. This is a very, very exciting time. It's week 1. There's 16 to go. But man, oh man, was I encouraged with what I saw from Matt Stafford and the rest of the team on Sunday night en route of the Chicago Bears.
Just a quick report on our on-location reporter, Myron. They're having some issues with the video, so we might not be able to get to it tonight. I will give it one more shot. I'll let Jordan just try one more thing, but it sounds like he's having some audio, then video issues, then it's just audio, then it's video. So they're trying to figure it out.
We're at the mercy of technology, people. Got to give it a try, though.
A lot of injuries in week 1, Max. You mentioned 4 names here. We got Mostert, obviously the running back for the 49ers, Verrett, Judy with the Broncos, and Fitzmagic, of course. Those are the big names. There's a lot of injuries. Max, whose loss is going to be felt the most?
Well, I don't know. When I look at this list right now, I would like to say Fitzmagic, but Taylor Heineke, if anybody remembers the playoffs last year, this guy gave the Buccaneers a better run than Patrick Mahomes did in the Super Bowl for the Washington football team. And I know how much you love talking about the Washington football team, but I'm honestly, if I'm a football team fan, I'm not too worried about having Taylor Heineke under center for however long it's going to be with Fitzmagic being out. And that's always the worry with a bit of an older quarterback. And at least the injury that I heard, it is somewhat serious. He is going to miss some time. So we'll see what happens there. But I mean, you look at the Niners, and I got a very, very good friend who is a San Francisco 49ers fan, and I feel bad a little bit. I might be jinxing them on a week in, week out basis. Well, Brian Snow as well.
Brian Snow checking in on YouTube, by the way. Shout out to Brian.
Shout out to Brian. Another very good friend as well, though. It's a Niners fan who has his eyes were glued to the Niners during our Sunday morning golf round to, I guess, win the Squirrely Cup for anybody that's known that tournament. But no, Raheem Mostert being out for the entire season, it came out that he was only going to miss 8 weeks, but I mean, that's half a season. Now he's going to actually take care of the chipped cartilage in his knee and just commit to a season-ending injury. But with that being said, the Niners, they just rotate running backs in and throughout. So I look at Jerry Jeudy, at least on this list. Verrett might be one for San Francisco as well, too. I mean, at the end of the day, they're a deep team, but again, it's week one, and they've already got a couple of big names out. But Jerry Jeudy for the Denver Broncos, who's supposed to be their headline second-year receiver, that might be one that affects that team pretty good, especially with Teddy Bridgewater. You could tell he was keen on him a little bit. He wanted to throw the ball to Jeudy, and if he's going to miss 3 or 4 weeks, again, it's not the entire season, but it's always tough when you go down in week one with an injury, especially when you've got a season that you're, again, wanting to break out a little bit, right? So
absolutely. And you know what? We're going to talk about rookie quarterbacks, but we got to keep moving here, so we're going to skip that one. Maybe we'll talk about it later because I know there's a lot going on with, you know, there's a lot of rookie quarterbacks around the league, and we'll want to touch on those later. This one was an interesting one. We don't have to talk about it too long. Jeffrey Bezos, the former...
Jeffrey
the
Bezos.
star, not the former, the current star of the Bo Burnham documentary. Well, I'm struggling right now. The current star of the Bo Burnham song, Jeffrey Bezos. He is potentially teaming up with Jay-Z. So this could be a thing where they buy, and we talked about the Broncos for a second there, the Denver Broncos. Now, Max, the reason this is interesting is because... the Broncos are approximately worth $4 billion. Now, this would be maybe the purchase price of the team. I'm not sure exactly how that all works, but somebody made the comparison of that is 5% of Jeffrey Bezos alone, not Jay-Z, just Bezos, of his overall, now this is net worth. It's obviously not the money in his bank account, but net worth, it's 5%. So the comparison was, if you're making $50,000 as a regular human being, that's like you dropping $2,500 to buy like a laptop or something, or like a really nice TV. That's him buying the Broncos. That's a little different lifestyle.
Absolutely. And you know what? I know that Jeffrey Bezos is a bit of a controversial figure in today's society, but at the end of the day, all you can do is tip your hat to somebody that has that kind of net worth. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to build an empire, and he's done that. I mean, if you can spend however much you did on a certain shaped rocket ship blowing up before it gets out of the stratosphere, and then you decide, you know what, I think I'm just going to go a little safer with this next investment. Buy a football team.
Yeah, just a football team.
They'll turn a profit for sure. So, I mean, you look at Jeffrey Bezos and what he's amassed in terms of wealth, and I mean, it's just funny. I love those numbers. I love those comparables when you put them out, because it's just like, just makes you laugh.
I'm not sure
and
what
I mean, at myself mostly, but
I'm not sure what the connection to the Broncos is, if he's from the Denver area or something, or if it's just a team. I don't know, but either way, I think
it's a way to make money.
Yeah, well, or sink money if you're looking for tax breaks, because you know how that works sometimes.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, so Jordan, what are you thinking? Should we try Myron out? Because it sounds like it's working, but for him. Okay, Myron, stay logged in. He's for some reason he's having issues, but we're actually
I mean, I don't blame the man. It's an 8th inning of a 2-run ball game though, too, as well. He might want to concentrate on the ball game, but that's.
Yeah, I'm just sending Myron one more text. We might give this a shot.
I see you've got some NBA topics here. These might have to kind of make their way into the back half of the show as well, too, unless we really want to touch on the Coles notes of them. But you've got you did some writing today.
I'll roll through these.
You did some writing. I'm proud of you. Look at this.
I did okay. On today's episode of Crazy NBA Contracts, and again, we don't have to analyze this, but I just want to talk about it. We feature Aaron Gordon of the Denver Nuggets. Aaron Gordon was the trade deadline acquisition for the Nuggets this past last season from the Orlando Magic.
Won a slam dunk contest
won
or two, didn't
he? Yeah, won a couple. And, he's a good player, definitely a good player. He was one of Orlando's best players before they traded him. Career average of 11 points. I think it's like 6 rebounds. Guy just signed a 4-year, $92 million contract. Welcome to the NBA, everybody. That's $23 million a year. I did some quick maths for 11 points per game. And then I digress. The Houston Rockets and star point guard John Wall are looking at a potential breakup. Obviously, the Rockets, after trading away James Harden last year, they're tear down. And John Wall is an all-star. He's been an all-star a couple of times. The guy's a good player, and I think he could be a good player on a good team. He's not over the hump yet in terms of his career. I think he's still got some gas. So, I can't blame him. Would you want to be where Houston is right now if you're John Wall?
I didn't even know John Wall was in Houston, to be honest.
So he got traded.
I know he was a Washington Wizard for the first many, many years of his career. But again, you look at that, and we'll talk about this.
For Russell Westbrook. He was in Washington.
Was the swap.
The Russell Westbrook
And Russell's
swap.
already on his way out of town. He's with the Lakers. Now, and this is what I'm very excited to dive into this, especially with our friends from HoopLife next week. Shout out to those boys. But it's silly season all the time in the NBA when it comes to player movement, and I'm here for it. At the end of the day, when it comes to blockbuster trades, and this is where, again, I hope to develop my sports fandom a little bit as an NBA player, where I can really get up for those kinds of trades and be like, oh my goodness, this was earth-shattering, because I know to diehard fans it really is. But man, oh man, we see these every single season, it seems like these days, with these superstar players, with these albatross contracts that are just otherworldly in terms of value when it comes to the other 4 major pro sports. It's absolutely amazing to me when you look at, again, a guy that's a depth player on the Denver Nuggets making $23 million a year. Maybe he's a starter. Again, this is where, again, I want to be educated a little bit more.
No, he's a good player. He is good. And I think, career average can also be weird in basketball because when he was the first couple of years, maybe only averaged 5 or 6 points, and then he became a starter, and then he became a star.
19 point.
So it is what it is. I find it
It's
fun.
crazy, though. It is crazy. It's numbers that we don't make sense to us as being diehard hockey fans.
Yeah.
Because, again, that NBA money is
$23 million a year.
That's a Connor McDavid in 3/4.
That's a good defensive group.
That's your top 6 nearly.
Seriously. Just a couple, speaking of the NHL news and notes, the St. Louis Blues. The St. Louis Blues.
Where's your mind at tonight?
I don't know. Where's our original 16? Where's that? The St. Louis Blues have locked up Tyler Bozak. Shout out Regina native Tyler Bozak.
Experience
1 year.
Regina.
Exactly. 1 year, league minimum. Nice little depth move for them, bringing him back. Obviously, he's been there for a few years, won the cup there. I like it. And just a little rumor. Apparently, the latest reports are that the Senators have finally offered Brady Tkachuk an 8-year deal at $8 million, $64 million total. So that's.
Are you on pictures tonight?
I did make some pictures. Yeah, I got the pictures. Did I do a bad job?
Well, I'm just saying that was their jersey.
You know what? I'm trying to be unbiased, and also they scored against the Leafs. I don't care. You know what? It is what it is. Anyways, what do you think, Jordan? Should we give Myron a shot? You don't have him.
We don't got him.
Okay.
We'll get him.
Well,
we'll
know
get him
what?
Another time.
Yeah, we'll get him another time. Luckily, we do know a few people in Toronto. So, hey, if you're going to a Blue Jays game, let us know. Maybe we'll try to get you on the show. It's just unfortunate because I know Myron's having some network issues. So it is what it is. But you know what?
Enjoy the rest of the game, Myron. Let's just say that. Enjoy
After
the
break, we do have Darrin Bauming coming in, and we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. But the top of the order tonight was brought to you by our good friends over at HoopLife Basketball. They got a ton of stuff going on over there. I can't even keep up with everything they have going on.
I know.
Got a league. They got a new apps going on, new training sessions, new camps.
New facility
that we're going to be hopefully checking out soon. Unbelievable stuff. So head over to hooplifebasketball.com. Oh, I'm hearing a rumor we might have Myron. Okay,
it's always
you know
how
what?
That works, eh?
Let's do it. Let's try it out. If Darrin Bauming is Darrin Bauming in too? He is. Okay, so Darrin, hang tight. We're going to try something here. We're going to see if it works. Can we bring in Myron? Myron, are you in the stadium?
Look at him.
Do we have audio? He can hear us. Myron, give us a little shot of the field if you don't mind, if you can hear us. So we're not getting audio from Myron, but he's right there.
Look at that.
Now we might get sued by Sportsnet for this.
We might. That's a wonderful looking jersey.
Myron, give us a thumbs up. How's the seats tonight? Oh, you got the old jersey. Yeah,
I love
good
that.
seats. Is the game entertaining for you guys? Yep,
yes.
Good. And are you having a few beverages for the boys? No. Oh, yeah, no.
That's not original 16.
No, yeah, perfect, Myron. That's all we can really do for you tonight, buddy. But hey, thank you for working that out with us. Give us one more shot of the field, really quick, if you don't mind, Myron. It's still, I believe it's still 2-0 for the Rays. Here we are. Look at this. The stadium's rocking tonight, and it is a tight game.
It's a playoff atmosphere right there.
Yeah.
Thanks a ton, Myron.
Thanks a ton, Myron.
Greatly
hey,
appreciate it.
you enjoy the rest of the game, and give us a good SquadCast chant in the stadium. Start a SquadCast chant for us, if you don't mind. All right, okay. Perfect. Thank you, Myron. Enjoy the game, buddy. All right, that was great. Man, Myron's awesome.
Great dude.
Great dude.
Great jersey. I want that jersey.
Oh, is it? I wonder if it was a Darrin Fletcher.
Delgados?
Darrin Fletcher. I always, for some reason, that jersey always reminds me of Darrin Fletcher.
Remember Eric Hinsky too? Like kind of right at the start of his. For whatever reason, I associate that. Raul Mondesi.
Yep.
Shannon Stewart.
Yes. How good was Shannon's underrated player? Shannon Stewart.
Underrated player.
So many of those guys were underrated, and the problem with those teams were they had a lot of underrated guys, and they were never quite good enough.
Problem with those teams was JP Ricciardi.
Well,
just kidding. Anyway, so
that's
Darrin
for the
Bauming
Bluebird
coming
block,
up after
yes.
the break.
We're going to head to a break now. See you in a couple of minutes. We are coming back with Darrin Bauming, and man, you're not going to want to miss this one. It's going to be a fun chat. See you in a couple minutes.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Everyday HoopLife.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Peterson Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. RoxDar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the RoxDar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com. All right, welcome back into the studio. During the break, you know, when you're looking at a camera for a certain amount of time, my neck gets stiff. I don't know if that's just me or what. Maybe I have to go get that checked out. But anyways, I was doing, the old neck twist, And Max heard how loud my neck cracked. It cracked so loud.
I thought you were headed to the IR with Jerry Judy.
I was
concerned.
a little worried myself. That was a really thorough crack.
It was like hail hitting the roof a couple weeks
ago. We've experienced that too. Anyways, we are going to get to our next guest here now. He joins us from the Slurpee capital of Canada, Winnipeg, Manitoba, in the heart of the CFL's triumphant return season. NHL training camp, it's the dawn of NHL training camp. NFL season's getting going. Darrin Bauming, the creator of Bonfire Sports TV. Darrin, how's it going, my good man?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, the Slurpee capital of the world here, Winnipeg. And, I'm inclined to enjoy a good Dr. Pepper Slurpee, maybe a little grape, maybe a little lime on there. But here's the thing. If a city is the Slurpee capital of the world, maybe they're the diabetes capital of the world as well. That's kind of how we poke fun at ourselves here in Winnipeg when it comes to being the Slurpee capital. But you guys in Saskatchewan, us here in Manitoba, we know how cold it gets. But when you got a hankering for a Slurpee, you got to hit Sev.
Man, it always happens for me, Darrin. It's like, you get through that really cold spell kind of in February because there's always one late, right? And then it's kind of turns to that spring. There's some slush on the ground, and you're like, you get that first Slurpee of the spring.
It's the association.
It hits different. I'm telling you. There's something about that.
It's that crunch as you walk, right?
Yeah.
It's that crunch as you walk through the sloppy streets. I want to touch on something you guys were talking about earlier.
Yes, please.
Our Bo Burnham's good friend, Jeffrey Bezos, and why the Denver Broncos.
Oh, okay, here we go. This is
you got Jeffrey Bezos and Denver Broncos. We do know billionaires have big heads. Maybe it's just so they could continue that song. It kind of rhymes, right? So I don't know. Maybe it's that, but I hope they get it. Jay-Z needs, I would like to see Jay-Z a partial owner of a major league sports franchise in every league in North America.
Yes.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, bring him to the NHL. I'd love to see that. Like he's not connected to anybody in the NHL right now, is he? Like he should.
Let's get a team in Saskatoon. Let's move the Blues to Saskatoon like they should have done decades ago.
Saskatoon. I think that works too. We should get Jeffrey Bezos on this.
Darrin, all of a sudden we all just became Little Dicky on the mic here.
I know, yeah, right. Yeah. Before we dive into it, we have a lot to get to with you tonight, Darrin. But before we do that, we've been talking Blue Jays a lot. A lot of our show is dedicated to talking Blue Jays. Have you been able to catch much of what's been going on the last couple weeks? And just give me your thoughts on the season so far, if you have, and maybe a little bit of Shohei versus Vladdy. Vladdy's creeped back into that MVP talk. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I've been following kind of arm's length and haven't been able to take too many games in just with football and summer, wanting to enjoy the weather a little bit. It gets, strenuous. I work with the junior football team here in Winnipeg as well, the Rifles, the PFC, and it's tough. But I do have a very good friend. I'm in a group chat with him. I follow him on Twitter. He's always bleeding out something about the Jays and what's frustrating him or what's exciting him. Seems like a really fun team to watch. I'm looking forward to. I always tune in during the postseason and take in some of those games. As far as Vladdy versus Ohtani, you look at the odds. I think it's plus 5,000 or something for Ohtani at this point. That's pretty much a 95% certainty or something to that degree. I'm not a gambler myself. I can't imagine how anybody's going to take that away from him. I think he's just one of the most locked, one of the most, firmest locks for MVP, I think, in the majors in a long time.
Oh, it's definitely a compelling story. And I want Vladdy to get close. Like if he's putting up an argument, that makes for a better offseason to me. I think
if he can come in and if he can come in and close some games, come out of the pen,
he probably could.
Maybe
he probably could.
Might require one of those things called a triple crown. That might be a thing that helps the conversation along
for sure. So, Darrin, let's start on the ice because there's a ton of football to get to, but let's go through some of the stuff going on with the Jets. And you talk about gambles. Last year there was a gamble made by the Jets, and it was one of the biggest storylines in the league with the Line A Roslovic for Dubois trade, and there's a third-round pick in there too. Let's not forget. But that trade, as of right now, for both teams has kind of been a bit up in the air, a little bit weird. We're still not sure maybe who won. Roslovic, Max always says Roslovic might be the best player in that trade so far. We'll see. But I think Pierre-Luc Dubois this year with the Jets, and correct me if I'm wrong, but feels like kind of an X factor for them to be either, a fringe playoff team or, just making the playoffs or really good. What is the vibe around Pierre-Luc Dubois with Winnipeg right now? And what can you tell us about, his role this season?
Yeah, when the trade went down, you kind of had two schools here in Winnipeg and in the province of Manitoba. We haven't seen a player as electrifying and hype worthy as Patrick Laine since Teemu Selanne. You can talk about Alexei Zhamnov and Keith Tkachuk scoring 50 goals. You can go back to Dale Hawerchuk and the phenomenal years he had in a absolutely loaded Smythe division with the Flames and the Oilers and just not being able to get the Jets out of that. But Patrick Laine brought a different level of excitement, anticipation, and ultimately hope for the Winnipeg Jets to have somebody considered amongst the league's best. 2-3 years ago, Mark Scheifele was probably the third or fourth best center in the NHL. I don't know if he is anymore, but he was 3 or 4 years ago, and it didn't matter. Sportsnet, TSN, the Hockey News, I could call out any media, mainstream media outlet right now covering the National Hockey League. He was never in that conversation. Winnipeg just doesn't have the eyes on it, playing in the West, playing in a smaller market, not getting those marquee national matchups too often. So when the Winnipeg Jets traded Patrick Laine, and his relationship began to be a little bit maligned with Winnipeg, some people were happy to see the trade happen. Others were thinking, what are they doing? They're trading, a potential 50 goal scorer who's still young and only been in the league for a couple years and entered the league at 18. How do you judge a guy through his first couple years as a teenager in the National Hockey League? Not everybody's Connor McDavid in that regard. And then you trade him with another first-round pick whose relationship was maligned a bit with the Winnipeg Jets in Jack Roslovic. And, you might be right. He could be the best player, or at least he was last season in the entirety of that trade. And then you heard about the third-round draft pick. Now, I'll be honest, guys. When this trade went down, people in Winnipeg thought the third-round pick was coming Winnipeg's way. They didn't think it was going the other way. Are you serious? Wait a minute. No, that can't be right. They traded a third-round pick as well. Here's my take on it. Pierre-Luc Dubois is young. He's going to be a restricted free agent in a year. And young, big, physical centermen with scoring touch don't come along via trade often, if ever. So the Winnipeg Jets had to pay a premium for Pierre-Luc Dubois. And yeah, Columbus, knew Dubois wanted a trade. He's, come out. Luke Fox had a piece on Sportsnet just the other day talking about how hard it was on him. He still won't, Dubois, that is, speak to the reasons why he wanted a trade. Maybe it's John Tortorella. Maybe it was opportunity. We've all seen the clips of him kind of gliding around the ice and not putting much effort into his last few shifts there with the Columbus Blue Jackets. But the reality is, he's as untapped potential as a Patrick Laine, as a Jack Roslovic. Laine's a winger. He's never going to play center. Roslovic can play center and has played center, but he is a smaller player and not very much a two-way player. Pierre-Luc Dubois, in the words of head coach Paul Maurice here in Winnipeg, is a grown man and can evolve, and they expect him to evolve into a power forward and a force in the middle. You've seen it in the West. You've seen it really across the entire National Hockey League. You need at least 3 good centermen to have a team with enough horses to make a push deep into the playoffs. The Jets have seen the Blues face to face. They've seen the Nashville Predators face to face. They've seen a lot of good teams, including this year with Montreal and with Toronto in the postseason. They've seen what good playoff teams are made of. They've got the goaltender in Connor Hellebuck. They added to the defense core this year. I think this move on from Patrick Laine to Pierre-Luc Dubois was about the future as much as it was about now. Brian Little on LTIR and very likely, it's really unfortunate to say, but probably not going to continue his NHL career after taking a puck to the ear and the temple area a couple years ago early in the season. So there's Dubois, there's Mark Scheifele, there's Andrew Kopp and Adam Lowry, Paul Stastny. How many more years will he play in the National Hockey League? I think he will, but diminishing returns maybe in the amount of ice he gets and the amount of tough matchup assignments that he gets now that he's into, probably the last few years at best of his NHL career. They need Dubois, they need Kopp, they need Lowry, and they need Mark Scheifele to be a strong group, to be physical and defensively sound down the middle if this team wants to take advantage of the talent window and the salary cap window that they have right now, let alone with Connor Hellebuck back there not quite getting paid $10 million a year yet.
Yeah, 100%, Darren. And I mean, we talk about X factors, right? PLD being one of them, but another one, and it's going to be an X factor for every single NHL team headed back to their respective divisions pre-pandemic. The Jets obviously going back to the Central Division. When you look at the moves that Kevin Cheveldayoff and co have made this offseason, again, you alluded to a few of them there. What do you think, as far as a letter grade is concerned, would you give his staff and the work that they've done as they prepare to head back into a very competitive Central Division?
Yeah, I couldn't give them any worse than a B. I think, a lot of people think they're already calling it the summer of Chevy. Kevin Cheveldayoff here in Winnipeg and the work that he did, because he addressed a lot of areas that the Jets had maybe left to the wayside or hoped young players, role players, acquired players from other teams, veterans in the National Hockey League would fill the gap. And I'm speaking specifically to the defense corps. Adding Nate Schmidt, a pretty good price. All things considered, I know his salary was a hit. Vancouver didn't want to take anymore. And I think he's a good room guy, a good, lighthearted, high character guy that will probably fit in very well to a very, I'll say the identity of this Winnipeg Jets character is very well defined in that room, and it's led by Blake Wheeler, it's led by Mark Scheifele, and I think he fits into that. Re-signing Neil Pionk, a player that doesn't get a lot of accolades, but continues to always lead this team in scoring as far as their defensemen are concerned. Josh Morrissey maybe had a bit of a down year, especially early last season, but a very highly respected player and somebody they expect to be their top pairing defenseman, and essentially power play too, with the way Neil Pionk has kind of taken control of that. But adding a nice physical player like Brendan Dillon, who's been there, who's played in playoff games. I think he has a Stanley Cup. 30 years old, 6'4", 225 pounds. That's the type of guy they need to put alongside a smaller Neil Pionk, a smaller Josh Morrissey. And then, Dylan DeMello maybe came into Winnipeg, people hoping he would be a top 4 guy, probably more fit in that third pair, but putting him with Logan Stanley. Now, Logan Stanley was, in the minds of many, a bit of a reach, drafted 18th overall back in 2016, 5 years ago. Sometimes it takes 5 years for players to develop, and Stanley took the long road, played a lot with the American Hockey League and the Manitoba Moose here in Winnipeg, the Winnipeg Jets program, and he's evolved and is slowly getting the skating and the finesse parts of his game to catch up with that 6'6" frame. Always putting on weight too, as well, I'm told. So I think they have all of the makings now of being stabilized on the back end. Of course, injury can change that quickly. We know that here in Winnipeg as well as anywhere. But with that, it didn't matter what head coach I was talking to here in Winnipeg via Zoom or the last couple years, they always say the same thing about the Winnipeg Jets. Their front-end talent, their top 6, their scoring power, their offensive ability is as good as anybody's in the National Hockey League. You got a great goaltender in Connor Hellebuck, stabilizing and rounding out that defense with a good mix of veterans, young players, size, speed, and offensive prowess. It looks like it's finally all coming together. So to say expectations are high here in Winnipeg is an understatement.
As it should be, Now, one name I keep hearing over and over and over again is Cole Perfetti. Now, obviously, he was a high pick for them a couple years ago now. And he is in that age where it's like, okay, is he going to make the team this year or is it going to be next year? But he's kind of pushing. It seems like might be this year. What's the realistic timeline, I guess, for Cole Perfetti? And will we see him in the lineup pushing for a permanent spot at some point this year?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Obviously, hockey fans are going to be impatient, right? Especially with first-round draft picks and especially with high first-round draft picks like Cole Perfetti was and is. Extremely talented player. The knock on him has been his skating. I'm not a scout. I haven't looked at, any film or video of his junior career in any sort of depth. But that's been the knock on him. But the huge compliment that has been widely described of Cole Perfetti is that he thinks the game at an IQ level and, just a hockey awareness level, unlike anybody his age. So they believe that good coaching and continued work on his body and his mechanics and all those sorts of things, he will turn into, and will develop into one of the, a top center in the National Hockey League. Start him on wing. Absolutely. That seems to be the way the Winnipeg Jets have done that in the past. Jack Roslovic, maybe the most recent, but he is a centerman, came into the league as a centerman and is now a centerman with the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think with Cole Perfetti, there's no real rush. But when, if Paul Stastny's not around next year, if, Andrew Kopp or even Pierre-Luc Dubois suddenly become priced out or are acquired via trade because Cole Perfetti's ready, they've got him, ready to step in. But hopes are high for him, pretty much from a team perspective as much as anybody's, because they really feel that where he fell in the draft, they got an extremely value pick there. Going into the 2020 season, I believe, guys, he was, or the 2019 season, he was thought of as a top 5 draft pick when he was 17. So when he was 18, some injuries, some of those other guys elevating their game, they really feel like they got a bit of a gem, diamond in the rough in Cole Perfetti falling to them.
So, Darrin, and this is where, again, it kind of seems to be a consistent theme, right? We talk about it with Logan Stanley, taking him 5 years to make the jump. I'm looking 1 year further from that 2016 draft, and I look at a kid named Christian Vesalainen. At the end of the day, for Winnipeg Jets fans, is it a matter of still being patient with a kid like this who was drafted 24 overall in 2017? Is he the first one on the block in case Chevy needs to make a move early season? What really is there left for Christian Vesalainen in Winnipeg? Has he run everything out and it's just a matter of his stock's too low and they can't get anything for him? It's just a name that I always see on broadcasts of where's he going to be at? Is he still highly touted? Where is it at with Christian Vesalainen and the rapport he still has with the Winnipeg Jets?
Yeah, great question, because, you talk to the Jets hockey fan nerds out there, Christian Vesalainen is always one they like to talk about. And the hype was real with him when they drafted him a year after Patrick Laine, and they draft another big-bodied, skilled Finnish forward with Laine right in his last name, Vesalainen. Yeah. It got people excited and, jumping up a little bit. But as much as you see the highlight reel stick handling, confidence with the puck, and ability to shoot with a very quick release and accurately during his time in Europe, I don't know if that translated as easily for Christian Vesalainen as it did for maybe Patrick Laine. He looked so confident and calm and composed with the puck. And then I watched him in the American Hockey League on the much smaller ice surface with different level of competition, playing against much older players, different defensive systems, and of course on the smaller ice surface. I think it's something Christian Vesalainen maybe struggled with a little bit. But, he seemed to focus on his defensive game. And I think that's what the Winnipeg Jets maybe wanted him to. So often these, I imagine it happens with a lot of young players. They score 60 goals, they put up, triple digit points, and they make the jump to the National Hockey League as a first round pick and think, okay, I'm going to be, an offensive guy. I don't think that's always the case, right? playing a full 200-foot game and being defensive. Sorry, guys. Mom's calling. I'll have to call I'll have to call her back. FaceTime with mom. Another Bo Burnham reference,
right,
of course, right? Got to FaceTime with mom tonight. But oh goodness, must be something important. I will get to her, but you know, with Christian Vesalainen, I think what the Winnipeg Jets want him to be is a well-rounded player in the North American game. Those offensive skills don't disappear. You shoot the puck at 16 or 17, you're still going to be able to shoot the puck at 24, 25. Can you check? Can you be assignment sharp? Can you play physical in the National Hockey League? I don't think anybody should close the door on Christian Vesalainen yet. He's coming off, I believe, his entry-level contract, restricted free agent in 1 year time. So you know, this is going to be a big year for him, but definitely somebody the Winnipeg Jets are going to want to continue to develop in that you know, bottom six forward group right now.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know if we're going to be able to get a better insight, at least preseason, outside of this one from Darrin here on the Winnipeg Jets. Greatly appreciate the insights, but we will transition to the National Football League. Obviously, it was a pretty exciting week one, Darrin, and everything. It had a little bit of everything, right? Multiple rookies starting at quarterback, some injuries to key players. The Falcons did what the Falcons are going to do. Had to sneak that one in for Clark there, and some dramatic finishes. It kind of truly did have a little bit of everything, and we've talked about it pre-show and a little bit in segment one, but if you were able to catch up with things on the weekend, what stood out to you the most? And I guess the more important question, if you're in one, what was the record in your fantasy leagues?
Yeah, I was in one fantasy league. I finished third out of 12 teams in scoring and got to 1-0. So I'm happy about that. I won't bore too many people with too much of my personal fantasy talk. But what stood out to me, you know, I heard you mention Drew Stafford and the Rams. You know, you talk about hype going into a year. I'm looking forward to seeing what Sean McVay and, you know, a very talented group of receivers and, you know, maybe a better offensive system for Drew Stafford can produce. But Kyler Murray really stood out to me. Like, sweet feet, unbelievable the way he's able to extend plays, break linebackers' ankles, break D linemen's ankles, and still deliver the football on time. And just the, you know, the freelancing, the ability to extend, the ability to make something happen when it looks broken. I think Cliff Kingsbury's offense isn't perfect. I think there's some areas that are still glaringly missing. But when you have a quarterback of that talent level, adding DeAndre Hopkins last season, continuing to add good young players this year, they got, you know, a 1-2 punch backfield with Chase Edmonds. And James Conner as kind of their, you know, bruiser back on third down or in short yardage or whatever they might need. You know, I think all of the pieces are there. Defensively, Budda Baker, like, man, you know, one of my favorite players to watch, and you know, turned into a bit of a YouTube sensation through the pandemic as, you know, some of his videos went viral and the reaction of coaches. I think it was Mike Tomlin of the Steelers, you know, just going up to Budda Baker after the game saying, "You're a football player, man." Like, you don't see that too often. It was kind of cool to see. But you know, that NFC West is going to be tightly contested all year. But you know, the Cardinals are a team. It goes beyond Chris Streveler being on that team. Obviously, being a Winnipeg football reporter, we're watching him from a distance. But the Cardinals are a team. You know, I've got an early eye on here as being, you know, one of the more intriguing ones to watch here earlier in the season.
Absolutely, we're all cheering for Chris. We want to see him. We want to see him get a few plays in here and there. One of the bigger storylines that happened on Sunday was Jameis Winston. You know, coming in and running the show for New Orleans, and there was a lot of question marks about, can he be the next guy after obviously one of the GOATs, Drew Brees. But he goes in, and we were talking to Tori Gurley up on the Rod Peterson show today, and he said the phrase, "They punched him in the mouth," and Aaron Rodgers didn't look all that. We said he looked a little disinterested, but overall, was that Jameis Winston blowing the roof off the place, or was that the Packers just not looking good?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, the Packers didn't look good. And people talk about the Aaron Rodgers revenge tour. Well, maybe that's how he's enacting his revenge on the Packers by, you know, maybe not inspiring a better level of play from the teammates and his teammates around him. You know, I do say that tongue in cheek, of course, because Aaron Rodgers is a professional, and you listen to how impressive his comments were in explaining his side of things through the contract talks and everything that surrounded that pretty tumultuous offseason, around Lambeau and in Green Bay. But, maybe this is the thing about football, and especially in a league with 32 teams and 32 starting quarterbacks, and probably, well, some would argue maybe there's only 25 that should be starting, but 35, 40 guys that can start games comfortably in the NFL, is that sometimes you just get a bad mix. And, Jameis Winston came out of Florida State, joined a Florida-based team, had more media around him than probably any Florida-based quarterback, pro or college, since Tim Tebow. And, maybe only Tim Tebow being able to hold a torch to him there. You get him out of that. You get him out of that system. You put him in a place where there's a lot of stability in New Orleans. And maybe it's easy to look past a guy that was so inconsistent and would throw for a whack load of touchdowns, but also throw in a heck of a ton of interceptions as well. So, receiver talent around him, good offensive system. I don't think it's as easy to just write quarterbacks off as maybe some do. I think Jameis Winston is an absolute talent, and good on him. Hopefully he can continue his level of play. I'm a Colts fan, so if anybody in the NFC wants to play better than expected, that's fine with me.
It's going to be a tough one for you this week against the Rams there, Darrin. Just saying. Yep.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I know that. Don't get me started on quarterbacks in Indy, okay?
Let's switch gears and talk about the bigger field, the CFL. Obviously, you're, as we mentioned earlier, right in the heart of Winnipeg. And the Bombers are coming off 2 pretty impressive weeks. So much so that Craig Dickinson, coach of the Rough Riders, came out and said that the Bombers are the class of the league. So are the Bombers in a situation right now where it's kind of them and everybody else, or is it just coming off a couple of hot start? What do you think? Where do the Bombers sit right now?
Yeah, objectively speaking, I have not seen anybody play as well in game as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this season. There are good teams in the CFL. Like, I think Hamilton is better than their record. I most definitely think Calgary is better than their record. Saskatchewan is a good football team. And yeah, Winnipeg, frankly, put the boots to them the last 2 weeks. Like, what did they score? 8 points on Labor Day, 9 points in the Banjo Bowl. Like, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defense is for real. Adam Bighill said it clear as day, like 2 weeks into training camp, like back in mid-July, well before the season started. He said, our defensive front is scary. Mm-hmm. Adam Bighill does not speak in hyperbole. He does not exaggerate. He's just not that type of guy. He calls it like he sees it. And when he said our D front is scary, he was talking about more than Willie Jefferson and himself. He's talking about Jackson Jeffcoat, who I've been saying for years will be and is now a star in the CFL. He's talking about Kyrie Wilson, who has not been able to play a game this year because of injury. Jontrell Rockamore, a rookie, comes in, wins the week 1 weak side linebacker job, has an interception in week 1 in their win over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He's been out since then. They're down to their 3rd string weak side linebacker. They bring in Jesse Briggs, a 8-year Canadian vet, and he has played there fantastically, forcing fumbles, assignment sharp, doing everything he always does impressively on special teams, but now bringing it to the defensive snaps. They acquire Alden Darby for an American offensive lineman rookie who the Argos just cut the other day, Terry Poole. But Alden Darby, who had 5 interceptions in 2019, he joins this team once Mercy Maston went down with a torn Achilles. They lose Marcus Sayles and Winston Rose. Sayles now with the BC Lions. Winston Rose still hanging around with the Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL. And they bring in 2 rookies. Dietrich Nichols, who led the XFL in interceptions during their shortened 2020 season. DeAndre Alford, who's playing boundary corner, not field side corner. He's playing the tough spot, boundary corner, as a true rookie in the CFL. Brandon Alexander, fantastic communicator and leader, and somebody that's really been Johnny on the spot in forcing fumbles, finding fumbles, picking off quarterbacks. Like, there isn't really a positional weakness on this Blue Bombers defense. And you just look at that front with Bighill and Jefferson and Jeffcoat and Steven Richardson and some good young rookies in there as well. Jonathan Kongbo, who was with the San Francisco 49ers in 2020. Freakish athlete who probably has his shirt off more often than any other player on the Blue Bomber. I was talking to a photographer about that today. He's like, oh, the guy who never has a shirt on? Yeah, that's Jonathan Kongbo. He added another 15 pounds of muscle to a physique. We here in Winnipeg were like, who is this guy? He looks like he's carved out of marble. Tedrick Hansen, who had one of the most impressive plays in any Grey Cup I've ever seen, absolutely snow plowing Mike Daly into Frankie Williams, taking two guys out on a kick return in the Grey Cup. Just for a highlight reel of highlight reels, he came into the CFL as a global linebacker. He's now a hybrid defensive end. They have athletes, they have depth, they have versatility across the board. And, you know, I'm being a little bit cautious in saying some of the things that people are already feeling is rightful here in Winnipeg. And that's this Blue Bombers defense, at least here in the early going. And I understand it's a shortened season and the year off and all those things that can factor into opposing offenses. But they're beginning to have people have that conversation of where they might rank as some of the best defenses we've seen here in the last number of years in the CFL.
So outside of Winnipeg, there's a lot of storylines. Obviously, there always is in the CFL, but one that keeps popping up for me. Now, I had a buddy who worked for the Red Blacks, but the Red Blacks and former Bombers quarterback Matt Nichols, they're off to a bit of a rocky start. And a lot of people are calling for the Red Blacks to maybe go out and make a splash. Is there anybody available for a splash is, I guess, a good question. But do you think that, you know, they need to give Matt Nichols a little bit of a leash here and let him keep going? Or is it time to maybe look at adding Sean Maguire, who seems to be getting a lot of playing time lately, or somebody else from around the league? Where do you think the Red Blacks are at?
Yeah. Sean Maguire here in Winnipeg, channeling his inner Andrew Buckley of the Calgary Stampeders. A few years ago, what did he have? 9 rushing touchdowns, and then got stopped in the Grey Cup.
Yeah, I was going to say Chris Streveler. Yeah, Chris Streveler.
But yeah, Sean Maguire's more just doing that traditional, you know, second string, third string quarterback coming in and plunging forward. You know, they want to keep him healthy, you know, in case, you know, something bad happens. But the Ottawa Red Blacks, like, here in Winnipeg, these are all familiar guys to us, right? Matt Nichols, Dom Davis was the backup here in Winnipeg for a long time. Paul LaPolice has been head coach here in Winnipeg, offensive coordinator on 2 different stints. You know, we know all these guys really well. What's the problem in Ottawa? It could be a myriad of things. It could be, you know, just a couple things getting really bad. In their one win this season, I think it was over BC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You know, good special teams play, a couple big ones. You know, they've got some athletes back there. And, you know, in the return game, and you know, Abdul Kana snagged a couple footballs and gave them some good field position, so they were able to kick some field goals and put some points up on the board. I don't know if it's time to write off Matt Nichols, but we've seen it here in Winnipeg countless times. If you don't have good offensive line play, Matt Nichols is not going to put a team on his back. He's a good quarterback. He's maybe not a great quarterback. I'm comfortable just saying it like it is. And, you know, Matt got his fair share of criticism here in Winnipeg. The reality is, high character guy, hard worker, great leader, fire is what a lot of his teammates described him as. When he steps on the field and straps on the pads and does up the chin buckle, it's pure fire. He's got a real fire in himself in the huddle, on the field. But the reality is, if you can't protect and you're thin on the offensive line and you don't have a very strong run game and it's not a very power oriented run game, like say it was with Andrew Harris, you don't have good special teams on the covers, you're not able to flip field position, and your defense isn't consistently taking the ball away. Well, Matt Nichols never won games for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers when those other things didn't happen. I don't know if anybody should expect, even with a great offensive mind in Paul LaPolice, for Matt Nichols to be you know, this magic maker. It's just not going to happen. I don't know if he has enough talent around him, and maybe most notably talent in front of him. That offensive line in Ottawa this past offseason got absolutely ravaged with retirements and free agency. So, you know, Ottawa is going to struggle. That's, you know, I think we should get used to it. I don't know if they're going to be able to turn things around in short order.
One question from our YouTube viewers here, Darrin. Do you expect anything extra to come from the brawl in the Banjo Bowl? I don't think that. I think at this point we would have heard something by now if there was, but I don't know. What's your take on the brawl?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll hear something tomorrow. I know it'll come out at 4:00, right? But it'll be after we have a chance to talk to the people involved. Mike O'Shea spoke to us today here in Winnipeg, and stated that he watched the footage as best he could. The camera angles changed, that sort of thing. Asked for footage from the league, exchanged emails with the league, had players kind of write down how they felt things went. They obviously wouldn't get into specifics, but Winnipeg just felt that they were defending themselves against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And I'm sure the Saskatchewan Roughriders would say they were defending themselves against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and standing up for their teammates. However you slice it, you don't want to see this. You don't want to see punches thrown in football. There's a reason why they eject players for throwing punches. I never want to see somebody grab a face mask of another player well after the whistle and rip them down to the ground or rip their helmet off their head. We saw it in 2019 as well, where Vernon Adams Jr. ripped Adam Bighill's helmet off, swung it at his face in one of the most potentially dangerous instances I can remember in the CFL. After the whistle, or unnecessarily at the end of a play. Do I expect supplemental discipline to be rolled out? I wouldn't be surprised. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they kind of just, said, okay, we handed out a half dozen penalties during the game. Let's move on. These two teams don't have to face each other until possibly the playoffs. But there is no love lost between the green and white and the blue and gold. And that can be a good thing. I just don't want to see any more of the after whistle shenanigans, as much as I understand wanting to stand up for your teammates, really on both sides of the ball.
100% agreed with you there, Darrin. And we got one more for you. We greatly appreciate your time joining us on our 50th episode tonight. It's been a fantastic chat.
And congrats, guys. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. But I tell you what, obviously, I've been incredibly impressed throughout this entire interview. Obviously, you're a jack of all trades, a very well-versed person when it comes to sports talk. And I guess my biggest question on a personal side is I'd like you to rank your sports fandom for us. What sports and teams kind of have your heart the most, I guess, in some sort of numerical order? If you got three of your teams on the TV in various sports, who are you watching first? Who's got your first screen, second, third, etc.? Just break down your sports fandom for us a little bit, if you don't mind.
That really is a good question. When you start working in sports media and try to take an objective journalistic approach, it's tough. I grew up here in Winnipeg. The teams the football team I played for, from age 16 to 22 was like 3 blocks from Winnipeg Stadium. So, I grew up a huge Blue Bombers fan, and having to put that fan card away, stash it away and try to cover this team objectively was hard. I started in 2011 and it took time, but I've, focused strongly on that because I feel I would be doing a disservice to everybody listening and watching out there, the people that follow on Twitter, if I was in any way, shape, or form pulling for the team. So, I grew up loving football, loving college football, loving the NFL, loving the Blue Bombers and the CFL. Charles Roberts was like the guy, the god to me. There was Milt Stegall, but Flash, Blink, I had all the nicknames for him, and his number 1 jersey, he was the guy here in Winnipeg and in my heart. But nowadays, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't cover the NFL. I cover youth sports. I cover junior football. I'm on the Winnipeg Rifles board of directors, do their play-by-play. I cover the Blue Bombers and that sort of thing. So I just love to kick back and watch 2 NFL teams go at it. I've been a Colts fan since they drafted Peyton Manning out of Tennessee back in 1998. I gave up on the Buffalo Bills after 3 Super Bowl losses. I was kind of teamless for a while and kind of, okay, now I'm a Colts guy and I'm sticking with them. Broke my heart when Andrew Luck retired, but I love watching the Colts in the playoffs. Those games where they beat the Patriots were some of the best memories I have, sitting next to my buddy who probably has 50 New England Patriots jerseys in his closet, and just seeing the look on his face when the Colts were able to come back or hold on and, show Tom Brady what it's like to take an L. But when it comes to sports right now, love watching the Raptors, love watching, Kevin Durant's one of my favorites to watch in the NBA. Jays in the playoffs. I was a big Expos fan growing up. But yeah, as you can see behind me, I'm a fan of sports. I'm a fan of a great story. I'm a fan of a great game, and that inspiration that it brings. Plain and simple, guys, I love sports because it really bridges the gap between entertainment and the important things in society. Perseverance, resilience, and victory from hard work is lessons that you can translate into almost anything. And when you can do it in an entertaining way, and two strangers sitting next to each other at the pub or walking down the street or wherever it might be can have an hour or two passionate, educated, heated conversation. And they never said, boo to each other before that. That's a special thing. That's a societal rarity. So I think it's something that we should celebrate as sports fans, and that's why I love it.
Yeah, we love sports, and we don't care who knows. From the great words of Lonely Island. Now, just a quick story on that, and then I'm going to let you go. Speaking of the world of sports and how it unites people, I think I've told you this story about Clark Gillies. I was bartending at the Delta Hotel in Regina. Middle-aged white man comes down, sits at the bar. Wasn't thinking of anything. I wasn't thinking who it might be. Talked about an hour. There was a hockey game on. We had a great chat, hour-long chat. By the end of it, he sees my name tag. Says, I really like your name, by the way. And I was like, that's a weird thing for somebody to say. Thank you. And he's like, yeah, that's my name too. And I'm like, oh, great to meet you, Clark. And he's like, yeah, Clark Gillies. And I'm like, whoa, what? Like, obviously, when you think Clark Gillies, you think, the big afro from back in the day. And he's now this, middle-aged businessman who's got a goatee and short hair. And anyways, that's my, claim
Is that
to
who
fame.
you model your look after?
Yes, I'm trying to be Clark Gillies. Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
All right, just wanted to clear
Not
that
a bad guy to try to be like. He's a good guy. Anyways, Darrin,
That's awesome, though.
we will, it was a weird night, a weird realization for sure. Anyways, Darrin, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We want to do this again, so I'm going to keep you on speed dial, and we'll chat again soon.
Greatly appreciated,
Yeah.
Darrin.
Thanks for having me, guys. Great talking with you. Congrats on 50 episodes. I'm honored to join you on a touchstone moment here.
Tell everybody where they can find everything you're doing right now.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter if you're on there. Obviously, Clark, you've done a great job helping us, little guys promote. But Bonfire Sports, Bonfire Sports TV on Twitter and YouTube.com/Bonfire Sports, bonfiresports.ca. Gather around the bonfire. Let's talk sports. Let's keep it hot. And again, kind of goes into that social conversation. I love it when fans engage. Give me your opinions, your thoughts, your questions. Let's talk. Let's revel in the beauty that is talking and watching sports. We were without a lot of it recently, and it just makes you appreciate it that much more, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And you're getting a ton of compliments on our Facebook feed about your helmets and your display behind you. So kudos on that. And Darrin, we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.
Yeah, you got it, guys. Cheers.
All right. That, of course, was Darrin Bauming, and you heard it, Bonfire Sports TV, everything he's got going on. Great dude. Love talking to him. And our video chats, as always, are brought to you by our friends here at IKS Live. IKS Live is your number one or premier destination for live events, live broadcasts, online streaming, video screens, everything.
What don't they do?
They don't cut hair. They don't. Well,
you know what? I know there's a guy in the building who might have a connection, though.
I should have said, one of the owners of one of the higher-ups here, his wife does own a salon.
So consulting as well.
So technically, you know what? Maybe they do cut hair.
That's right.
I don't know. There's an oil refinery. They probably have something. I was going to say maybe they don't
a lot of irons
refine
in the fire
oil.
at IKS
I don't know.
Live.
They do a lot of things.
Irons in the fire at IKS Live.
Yes, it's the hottest ticket in town. Talking about fire, they can make your event the hottest ticket in town.
50 episodes. Look at that team chemistry. Just continuing to develop.
Segues galore. We're going to take a little bit of a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little Blue Jays. I'm thinking we go... This is our last break. We're going to go straight the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Blue Jays. We're going to do our NFL picks for the week.
Squad select.
And
Clark's coming off a big week.
Whew, am I ever? And that's not going to last, probably, knowing my luck. And anyways, we're going to crush all of that when we come back. So stay tuned. We'll see you in 2.5 minutes.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Everyday HoopLife.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Peterson Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. RoxDar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the RoxDar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at roxdar.com. All right, and I have sent Maxwell off to get our nightcap beverages because we forgot them in the fridge. They're chilling. But anyways, we are going to jump into our Bluebird block here right away, and we're going to get into our NFL picks as well. And as soon as Max gets back, we'll do that. But again, thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight. Again, this is episode 50. Our 1 year anniversary is coming up just a couple of weeks away, and we do have a bit of a teaser. If you stick around, we're gonna have a little bit of a chat with you guys about what's coming up for our 1 year anniversary and our switch into our second year. So that is coming up. So stay tuned. Oh, you're giving me the okay, good. So we got the original 16. You got the seltzer. I got the Canadian Pale Ale. We always love this stuff, and we will be enjoying it this evening. You ready to go with that? You want to open it now?
Crazy not to.
Yeah, crazy not to. Ready for that?
Oh,
Most satisfying sound.
in all the sports talk.
Quick
and
sip. Keep it
entertainment.
healthy.
Quick. Okay,
I love
now
that
you're-
guy. I don't know his exact name. I'm terrible with TikTok names of creators, but the guy who does the iced coffee reviews and the food reviews right now,
Yep.
that
He's got
guy's
your
awesome. I think
attention.
his name's Ty, if I'm not mistaken. Unbelievable dude. Makes some great videos. And he's been on, I don't know what he's doing. He's all over the continent. He's all over North America. I don't know what he's got going on, but he's traveling like crazy. I don't know. But anyways, love it. Quick sip. Keep it healthy.
No free ads.
A little hit to the calorie. Well, it's fine. If he gets a couple followers out of it, I'm not opposed.
As long as he knows where. As
Share
long
the
as he knows-
love.
Share the love.
We're hitting the Bluebird block. Let's get into it. The Jays lose tonight 2-0. From what are the reports I'm seeing, Max, Jose Barrios left the game. off of, not on his own terms. I guess there was some abdominal soreness.
Okay.
Now, I'm hoping that it wasn't the level that our buddy Ross Stripling encountered, where maybe it's just a little bit more of a minor thing and they had to take him out of cautionary concerns. We'll have to be following that. Maybe you can check out Twitter as we go here. But that is what went on with Jose Barrios. Again, we kind of went on the air kind of in the 7th inning, so we lost track of what was going on, but he did have a good start going. Yeah, he did have a good start going, and then he came out, I guess. So I guess we'll keep an eye on that. But the one thing I want to talk, Max, about, let's start it off with, we talked about it earlier in the show a little bit with Darrin Bauming. Vladimir Guerrero, MVP chants. They're getting louder and louder as the home crowds continue to trickle in Toronto. He is putting an argument together, and like I said earlier, if he can just put an argument there, that's all I want. If he doesn't win, that's fine. I get what Ohtani's got going on for him, but man, Vladdy is doing everything he possibly can right now to get back in that conversation, because it was a lock a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it is anymore.
Yeah, and when you look at the season and just, I mean, both are incredible baseball players.
Yes.
If you haven't had a chance to watch Shohei Ohtani pitch and then in turn hit a baseball, it's pretty impressive. But I guess this is where I guess my hockey fandom gets in a bit of the way, because I pay attention to that most in terms of award seasons, right? So if you're looking at the MVP in baseball, do the playoffs matter? Because for the LA Angels, it doesn't look like it's going to really be a thing again this year. Although, not taking anything away from Shohei Ohtani, but when it comes to baseball, it truly is probably the most individual sport in terms of impact that you can make on your own back, at bat in, innings pitched, strikeouts, whatever it may be. But I look at Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and this is where I'm going to not channel my inner Darrin Bauming, and I am going to be a little bit biased here. Look at the defense he's played in his first year. He's looking at possibly a Gold Glove as well on that first base side. He's looking at a Triple Crown, which we all know that's probably one of the hardest awards to win in all of sports. Highest batting average, most home runs, and or RBIs across the entire
There's
American
a reason
League.
it doesn't happen very often.
There's a reason it doesn't happen often, especially in a league that's dominated by very, very good hitters, probably 2 or 3 on every single squad.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and I'm saying, why not? Why not?
Why not? Shout out to Steve Dangle.
Shout out to Steve Dangle and the boys. But you look at the impact that he's had, not just with the bat, but at the crucial moments too. You look at this run that the Jays are on. I don't know how they're not making more noise around Major League Baseball. I'm sure they are in the power rankings, this and that and everything else. But this run, and if they can find a way into the playoffs, I don't know how you don't give it to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., because it truly has been a team effort for the Toronto Blue Jays. We talk about how long their lineup is all the time, but you take away his production, the leader, the straw that stirs the drink, as most people like to say, in terms of the offensive catalyst to this team,
and
in addition to
too.
the defense, right?
He's been solid.
He's
all
been
year
very, very
at
good.
first base.
And Ohtani, again, great season on the mound. That's literal two-way production. We haven't seen this since Babe Ruth, and I don't know how many people are alive still that got to see Babe Ruth in his prime.
Probably not many.
Not that many. So when you look at the two in the argument, I understand the argument for Ohtani, but I think it's more than an argument for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. now. It's become a race again. Very much like the race that the Jays find themselves in. The MVP race should be won clearly between Ohtani and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. How tight it is remains to be seen. I'm going to lean into my bias a little bit here, though. I love the defense, the Triple Crown. If he gets it, that could be the tipping point for a lot of voters.
2 things. You mentioned the run that the Jays are on, historic. We had our buddy Ken Reed on the Rod Peterson show today. Now
Uncle Kenny.
Ken wanted to come on tonight. We asked him, and he wanted to. It's just, with the
Schedules
time zones the way it is right now.
Exactly.
He's on air. So what are we going to do?
Guy's working.
He's a busy guy.
Busy fella.
So anyways, he's going to come on. He told us he will. Once the time zones switch back to the other time zones, he can come on a little earlier.
Absolutely.
But I said, you know what? If you can't come on that show, second best thing, come on the show I produce, the Rod Peterson show, earlier in the day. And he did. And what his quote was that if this was a Hollywood movie this season, this is the montage portion.
Yes.
So this is the part where, they show the struggles, and then they show, a turning point, and then a 30-game montage where it just kind of speeds through. Win. The newspaper headlines. Win.
Home
Guy
run highlight.
training.
Strikeout highlight.
Coach talking to the player. Like, I'm thinking Moneyball. Well, in Moneyball, when they struggled, something happened, and then they had that montage where they were just winning. This is the montage. And he said, enjoy the montage, guys. Everybody loves a montage, as South Park says. Enjoy the montage.
It's a big word this time of night.
Yeah, I know.
I tell you what, though, with Ken Reid, I must say, I got to give this compliment to Ken. It's like he gets paid to do what he does.
Oh, he's good at it.
What an incredible analogy.
Right?
That's one
It's
that I
the
wouldn't think. He
montage.
might rival our good friend Andrew Gottselig for the analogy king.
Yes.
Uncle Ken Reid.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Andrew
as
always
always.
does. And second thing, the argument that I will put out there, and again, you mentioned it, if Vladdy, and I'm not going to say just Vladdy, but if the Jays make the playoffs, the Angels are not in a playoff spot.
Nope.
Shohei Ohtani, I believe, if I read this correctly, only has 7 wins as a pitcher. Is he a good pitcher? Yes. Is he also near the home run lead? Yes. Does that happen very often? No. But if you take away his 7 wins, it doesn't change their standing. It's not like he's pushing them into a spot where they shouldn't be. Whereas Vladdy has been the catalyst a lot of nights, winning home runs, walk-off, his defensive play, again, just getting constantly on base, driving runs in. Everything he's doing has pushed the Jays into a different stratosphere. So if there is an argument for him to be better than Shohei, that's it. It's that the Angels aren't close to where the Blue Jays are in terms of team production, and maybe Vladimir is a bigger part of that. Then maybe he's more valuable of a player, you might say, than Shohei currently is to what the Angels are right now.
He's hitting 259 as well,
Shohei
Ohtani. So again, this is where when you
so
look
I
at
mean, I don't know. I'm gonna make a hot take. Can you make a graphic out of this?
I can
Mac?
make a graphic out of it. If you have a good quote, I'll always make a graphic.
Shohei Ohtani's season isn't as great as everybody's saying, and I think it's cool, but is it great? And I'm wondering if Vladimir Guerrero's Jr.'s season is a great season for what it is, and people need to give him more credit for it. You don't see the Miguel Cabrera like numbers every year like he's putting up right now, and the fact that I think he passed him in home runs too.
Vladdy's passed him.
Which
Vladdy's passed him. He's got 10 more RBIs.
Yeah.
Stolen bases, if you're going to...
Well,
how much does that matter at the end? But, I mean, 23 stolen bases as a pitcher, too. Like,
yeah.
Again, this is where
it's cool, but is it really that great?
Because this is where, again, we were talking about in the break where we got to go beyond the box score with this. And you look at it, right, there's cases to be made on both fronts, clearly. But man, oh man, if the playoffs have anything to do with it and leading a team, and again, having a better team around them, again, let's not forget that. If you take 2 or 3 guys out of the Jays lineup, maybe the Jays are exactly where the Angels are. But at the end of the day, Vladdy's still got to hit the balls that are being pitched to him, and he's doing that. Did you see that rope he hit last night? That's the definition of a frozen rope.
They put it up against Mark McGuire's home run from that magical season. Yeah. Identical. Like,
exactly.
If you've seen the clip, you've seen it. You know what I'm talking about.
And the home run to surpass his dad's season record of 44.
Everything about it. Give him an MVP.
As Ken Reid would say, enjoy the montage. Enjoy the montage. We'll stop talking about it. We'll enjoy the montage. We'll take Ken's advice.
So the pitching additions. Let's move on to the pitching a little bit. All of the bullpen additions lately, I'm calling this, and I guess they lost tonight, but overall in the last 18 games, they're still 15-3.
Great outing.
Yes, Barrios had a great outing, but I'm talking about the Nate Pearson addition. Julian Merriweather's back. Barucki is back in the lineup, and every time we have Craig Ballard on, all he talks about is Ryan Barucki. He always mentions.
Don't mind it.
No, and so you get those 3 guys. You get Soria back from injury, and the bullpen all of a sudden maybe has too many guys, and it's a good problem to have because obviously we're coming from the beginning of the year where every night it was like we just don't have enough guys.
Yep.
And now they have a lot of guys, and it's great. So that's just a good problem to have for the Jays, and you never want to you can never have enough pitching, especially when you get into a playoff situation. So if that's going to happen, I think they're looking good. The one pitching scenario that is cropping up now is how are they going to handle Robbie Ray's remainder of the season? So this is what I heard today, Max. Correct me if I'm not 100% here, but as of right now, Robbie Ray is not scheduled to start during the upcoming Yankees series, which is coming up soon.
It's a bold strategy.
And B,
no, that's not due to days off. That's elected by the team.
It's just like the way the rotation's going as it is right now.
Okay.
He's not lined up to pitch against the Yankees, and B, he's not lined up to pitch that wild card game if it happens. So it sounds like there might be a switch coming where they maybe give Robbie Ray, or they move him up a day or two to get a start against the Yankees, which will also line him up for that wild card game because I think he's the guy.
The thing that I'll say about that is that completely makes sense to me, right? There's a reason those guys get paid to run the team that they do, and it's just the thing about Robbie Ray is he's got to be my Cy Young winner. With Garrett Cole going down to injury, I don't know what length of term that is. If he misses a couple of starts, this has got to be Robbie Ray's award to lose with how he's pitched this year. And the thing that I love about that is if you're going to move a guy up a day in the rotation anyways, is he's been very efficient. It's not the thing about Robbie Ray was walks, and that's what would elevate his pitch counts. This is as fresh a Robbie Ray at this time of year as we'll ever see. So why not move him up a day in the rotation? I love that strategy at the end of the day if that's what they have to do. And the thing that we cannot forget is we can't talk like this is locked up yet. The fact is they've made up the ground they need to make up. Now they have to sustain it. Tonight can't be what, as Chris Hunter-Reiner alluded to last week, it can't be a go on a great run and then lose 5 or 6 games. They've run out of runway for that to happen. They've had their spells. Now it's time to, find a way to go 3-3 with the Rays in the last number of games here. The Minnesota Twins, you've got to find a way to win at least 5 of those tilts against them. And then in addition to that, just got to win. Just got to keep winning one day at a time, one win at a time. But if I'm looking at the Jays right now and at least where they're at in the standings compared with everybody else, they've got to finish just as strong as they've been going. They got to continue on this type of run here. And when it comes to the pitching rotation, however it needs to happen, whether it be moving guys around, whatever it is, this is crunch time. This is what the guys are paid to do. If you're Robbie Ray, you want that ball every single day if you have the opportunity to get it. So I like the idea, love the idea, and if it's got to happen, it's got to happen.
We're just going to throw a few comments in. Sheridan Davis is checking in tonight. He says, I think Vlad should get it because he's in a race and there's pressure situations every game. Yeah. So compared to Shohei's current
and he's
standing.
Still hitting 60 points better in terms of batting average as well.
So I just saw another stat. 101 strikeouts for Vladdy, hitting, obviously, not pitching. Shohei has 168.
That's not a small increase.
No, it's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
Jeremy Corrigan. Shout out to Jay Corgs. Jeremy says, if the Jays make the playoffs, Vlad gets it. If they miss it, Ohtani
See, and that's
gets
what I wanted to verify was, again, how much in baseball does the playoffs matter? And I really like that from Jeremy. I agree with you 100%.
Absolutely.
Look forward to chatting with you, Jeremy.
Also, Jeremy Corrigan says, 016, let's go. Let's go, Jeremy. Jeremy's going to be here soon, actually, in about 2 weeks' time.
Good stuff.
So we're going to have to chat with him soon.
Without a doubt.
And shout out to Jeremy Corrigan, as we have him on the screen here. Mm-hmm. He's going to be the new public address announcer for the Prince George Cougars.
Congratulations, Jeremy. That's good
exciting
stuff. Look forward to tuning into a couple of games from PG.
Always love hearing that.
Great.
Now watch this. I can't get the comment off the screen. Here we go. I got it.
We've only done 50 episodes.
Next week. Jeremy's here next week. Not 2 weeks. Next week. So we're going to have to
Your
chat
people
with
are going to have to
Jeremy.
get in touch with his people.
I already talked to his people. His people told me that he's not here on show night. So he's not going to be here on Tuesday next week, so we can't have him in. But in the coming weeks and coming days, we'll have to get him on.
We have the technology.
Especially once junior hockey really kicks off.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, we'll have to do some sort of preview there for sure.
Absolutely. I just wanted to mention this, and this isn't a big point for the Bluebird block, but Jake Lamb, I really like what he's been doing. Really subtly coming in here, and, kind of out of nowhere. He's not eligible to play in the playoffs, I don't believe. But he's coming in. He's hit a couple home runs now. Mm-hmm. He's playing defense all right. He's that left-handed bat that they didn't have. He's kind of mixing it up a bit. And competition always breeds success, and I really like what he's brought to the table. Again, just a quick little note. I don't know if you have anything to add to that or not.
No, at the end of the day, I really like what you're saying. Jake Lamb's a left-handed hitter?
I believe so. Yeah. I thought
Sorry,
that's what
I
they
didn't
said.
mean to check you on that. I thought I saw him hitting from the right side.
Did you?
They've acquired a lot of
fact
bats
check
recently.
me?
I'm trying
Please
to.
fact check me.
He hasn't made a sizable impact enough where he comes up in the headlines.
It's subtle, but it's a couple things he's done have been pretty important for certain points in certain games recently.
First baseman, third baseman, bats left, throws
Bats
right.
left.
There we go.
Heck
Good
yeah.
stuff there,
and
Clark.
Our buddy Craig Ballard calls him Rake Lamb, and I just like that nickname.
I like that a lot. I really do enjoy that. And you know what? At the end of the day, right, it's those sneaky pickups. And he came from a Chicago White Sox team that was just a deep baseball team. Doesn't mean he's not a good player.
He wasn't getting an everyday spot.
He wasn't getting the spot.
He wasn't, feeling regular in terms of his production. So bring him in, see what he can do. Maybe he comes back next year and he's another depth guy.
Exactly. Can never have too many.
A wild card race update since we have finished the game. And I thought I had it up, but I don't. So the wild card race as of right now. Oh, Yahoo is the worst, man.
Why? I don't understand why that's your
I did
choice.
it. It's just the first thing that comes up
just
on Google.
Just go MLB.com.
That's what I did. So the wild card race. You know what? The Jays are still on top in the wild card race. They're still a half a game up on the Yankees. The Yankees are actually tied now with the Red Sox. So they are that close. The Rays now are 9 games. I think it's 9 games up on the Blue Jays in the division.
Yeah, the division's over.
It's not gonna.
I can comfortably say that the division's over, and that's fine. We're going for a wild card. That's okay.
But as of right now, and then we play the Blue Jays. I think play the Yankees 3 more times. And they have another series against the Rays after this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they have 3 more.
And another series against the Orioles.
4 with tomorrow night's game.
Another one with the Orioles too.
Yep.
So that's
with
what
the
they got
Orioles,
for
and
the
then
rest.
6 games with the Minnesota Twins.
6 with the Twins, right? So they got a couple of series.
3
Is it
game
a
set or 4
It's not
game
a 6
set?
game. Yeah, it's a 3 game.
I gotta look at the schedule here.
Anyways, that's the case. That's what's going on. We were pull back the curtains. We were thinking about maybe going to that Minnesota series.
Yeah,
but I just don't know if it's going to work.
We were thinking
a lot of stuff going on.
That's one of those ones where it's always good to send the text out about 2 months prior to that
not 2
instead
weeks.
of 2 weeks. So, you know what? Hey, there's lots of time left for this program.
Totally.
We'll get her figured out.
Anyways, that is going to be the Bluebird Block brought to you by our friends over at RBI Baseball and Softball here in Regina. If you need to provide some high-level coaching for your kids as they get ready for their season, if you're past, if you're done your minor ball career and you're still playing, maybe junior or senior, they have programs for everybody out there, and they have a great Hit Tracks program. Hit Tracks is the hitting simulator. So it takes every bit of information with your swing speed, your launch angle, everything. And as you're hitting, it can show you where the ball would land and does all of that stuff. It's super cool. So they have a ton of great tools and technology out there to make kids and people of all ages better baseball and softball players. So check them out. They just got a brand new website. Check out their Facebook. Check out their Instagram. RBI Baseball and Softball Regina. At RBI, they rise above the rest. You put your hand up.
Yeah, quick correction for the Karens in the crowd, just in case people call us out for
Sure.
stuff like that. We got 4 tilts left against the Tampa Bay Rays. 3.
Oh, okay.
3 with the New York Yankees.
Yeah, that's what I said.
7 with the Minnesota Twins.
7. So they have 2. Okay.
And a season-ending series, October baseball, against the Baltimore Orioles.
Right,
So
so
it's every match is pivotal down the stretch.
They're going to play the Twins and the Orioles to end the year?
You got the Rays tomorrow night, day off Thursday. Twins, Rays, Twins, Yankees, Orioles.
So, I mean,
the season.
All the teams they really need to beat, so that's great.
Exactly.
I just got a text message from our on-location reporter, Myron. He's showing us the prices of flights to Toronto because he wants us to come. As of right now, it's only a couple $100. Not that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
You get to Toronto?
We could go to Toronto.
Toronto? Who's got tickets?
$135.
135 and then 135 back?
That's what it's saying.
Oh. Tax-free savings account might have to take
that's we picked a specific day. It's late October, so is that going to be for the Orioles series?
Not late October. That's
No,
early
maybe
October.
the playoffs.
We're gonna need.
We're going to the playoffs.
Flights
Ooh.
and tickets might be a little outside the SquadCast budget for that one, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll talk to our friends. Maybe we have some friends. Who
What's
knows?
it cost down to get down to Minnesota?
Maybe if we convince Darnell and Roxanne to go with us. I don't know.
That could work.
I'm pulling something out of my the rabbit in the hat here.
That's all right.
We're going to move on to our squad select and wrap this show up tonight as quick as we can. Now, Jordan, I did put the squad select image in. If you don't mind bringing it up, there it is. So there's week 1. Now I did pretty good. I went 4-1. I won the battle game, which always helps. And you went, Max, 3-2, right?
2-3.
2-3. You lost the Bills. You won the 49ers. You won the Panthers. You lost
the Pats
the Patriots
by 1 point.
You lost the Cowboys.
And then the Cowboys by 2.
So I am at 4-1. You're at 2-3.
Yeah.
4-1, 2-3. So that means that
games.
you
Can we
get
change
to
the rules?
pick.
Just kidding.
You get to pick first, and you get to pick the battle game.
Is it both? Is it a double
Well,
whammy?
you pick first, third, and fifth. The fifth is the battle game.
Fifth is
and
the
I
battle
pick
game.
first. Yeah. So you pick. Yeah, you pick first and
Gotcha.
and
We're
the
just
battle
going
game.
with our games.
I don't know.
Now currently.
Let's just go with it.
Let's just go with it. Do it live.
So
as they
are you
say.
going to mark these down, or should I? Because we always forget, and then
I could give her a mark down
Okay,
here.
you got it open though.
I got it open.
Okay. Week 2 in the NFL, Max. You get first pick. Who are you picking first up?
Oh, I'm going.
Now, sorry, we should commit this. Battle game is going to be Chiefs and Ravens Sunday night football.
Ravens, yep.
Chiefs and Ravens, that's the battle game.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm going with the Cleveland Browns over the Texans. This is an easy one for me.
Nice.
Obviously, Houston had a pretty good showing against Trevor Lawrence in his debut against the Jaguars, but the Cleveland Browns put up a pretty damn good fight. Should have had that game against the Kansas City Chiefs, so I'm going to take the Browns. I think Baker Mayfield's going to have a day, and to me, that is going to be as good a first overall pick as I can give.
I like it. I'm going to go with the game that my favorite team, the Atlanta Falcons, is involved in.
Perfect. You're picking the Falcons.
They're definitely going to be on the field for this game. They're going to be there in spirit. I don't know if they're going to be there in terms of physical competition.
Physical abilities.
So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers over the Falcons.
Going with the Bucs.
If the Eagles can rout the Falcons as much as they did, I think the Buccaneers can also do that. So
absolutely.
there we go. I'm picking the Bucs.
There's a few good matchups this week, actually. You know what? This isn't going to be an easy week. You know what? I really like the showing that the Arizona Cardinals had last week.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say that too loudly. Tanner Ring will just chirp me for it. But anyways,
That's
I
fair.
will take his.
He's watching tonight, by the way.
All good stuff. I will take Kyler Bones. I'll take your boy. He looks good out there. I'll admit it on the air. I'm not going to admit it to you in person, though, because I would just, can't do that.
Nope.
But I hate to see it. I hate to see myself going this way this early in the season. But those Arizona Cardinals are looking some kind of good to start the year.
Would you say some kind of wonderful?
I said some kind of good. I
That
had to
was the
switch it up.
theme.
It's like when you're writing a paragraph and you're like, I've used the word 14 times. You should probably switch it up.
Yep.
So I said some kind of good. I
I've
can't
done
give
that before.
wonderful to the Cardinals.
I've definitely done that
it's
before.
the Cardinals. So Cardinals over Vikings.
Okay, Cardinals. Got it.
Get it? Got it? Good.
I'm going to go with the big 5 touchdown boy, Jameis Winston, and the Saints over the Panthers. Obviously, the Saints, again, came out and punched the Packers in the mouth. I think the Panthers are going to be an okay team, but I think the Saints got this one. I'm going to go with the Saints visiting the Carolina Panthers.
I like it. This one, the vehement denial that I gave you before the show, I was a little aggressive in my tone, but I felt I needed to be. You wanted the battle game. Viewers, Clark, and I am going to throw you under the proverbial bus here.
Yes.
Clark wanted the battle game to be the Detroit Lions, who put up a good fight against the San Francisco 49ers last week against Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers did not forget how to play football. He's going to be there. I think this is a wash. They're going to Lambeau. I really like the Green Bay Packers. This is the start of the revenge tour.
All right.
Again, if we're going with Ken Reed analogies, you
This
got to
is
have a
the
little
montage.
no, this isn't the montage, but you had the intro of where things aren't good, and now the adversity's been faced. Now maybe you do start the montage. Maybe it's a 14-week montage for the Green Bay Packers.
maybe.
I don't know.
Okay.
But let's go with it.
I am going to go up northeast to the northeast side of the country. Mac Jones and the Patriots
Mac Jones.
are going into the Meadowlands to face the Jets, and I'm going to take the Patriots
Meadowlands
in
is the
that one.
Giants.
They play in the same stadium, you dummy.
Yeah, well, it's the Giants Meadowlands.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not the Jets.
Do the Jets play?
It's like,
do they
it's
call
like
it
saying
something different?
it's like saying SoFi is the Chargers Stadium. It's the Rams Stadium.
Yeah, but it's still the Meadowlands.
Yeah, well. Yeah,
Either
is
way,
it though?
the
I just put Mac on here. I just put Mac. Mac Jones is going to beat the New York Jets
I mean,
in the
honestly,
Meadowlands.
maybe that's the case. I don't
Return
know.
of the
but
Mac.
I think in
That's
terms
what I'll
of,
do is I'll just put Mac Jones' face in the graphic.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, I'll do
In
that.
terms of rookie quarterback battles and just Patriots
I like it.
and Jets,
It's going to be a fun
I
game
think-
to watch.
Oh yeah, it should be
From the
So
Meadowlands.
That's going to be my pick, the Patriots. So that makes what? Is that 3 each now? You got one more?
I got one more, and I got to go with.
Oh, I see. You already typed it in.
Got to go with my guys.
See, I
Matty
was gonna do
Stafford
that.
looking electric. I don't care about Darius Leonard. I don't care about Quentin Nelson. This is Matt Stafford's season. And I'm going to put just the positive vibes out there. And you know what? At the end of the day, especially when you put it on camera, it's a bit of a risk. But I feel really, really good about the LA Rams this year. I'm not going to say it's going to be 17-0 because it's not. But I could easily see a 13-4 schedule with how dynamic that arm is. If he stays healthy, we are in some kind of wonderful shape.
Jesus.
And
you're good with that. You're
I
nailing
know,
that tonight.
man, there it is. But the LA Rams, I'm really happy to get them in the 4th round of this draft and
Yep.
put that logo on
I
my
was gonna
side of the
pick
ledger.
'em, but the Patriots, the Jets. The Jets.
I
Came
like
calling.
that pick. I do like the. It's going to be a fun game to watch. That'll
Yeah,
be
I
one
hope
that I
so.
tune into. I really like Mac Jones.
To wrap this up in terms of just the individual game picks, I'm going to go Bills over Dolphins. I think the Bills are going to be real mad about what happened last week against the Steelers, and I think they're going to walk into Miami and have their way. So I'm going to go Bills.
As popular as the Denver Broncos were, that could have been a pretty good pick too against the Jaguars.
You know what? I looked at that one. I'm like the Jags, but and Judy's out for the Broncos.
Judy's out for the Broncos.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't love them. I don't love them.
That's
so
fair.
I had to stay away from the Broncos. The other one I thought of maybe 49ers over the Eagles, maybe. But
I don't hate that. Niners are banged up already.
Washington over the Giants, but they're onto their backup. So I mean,
you can't pick Washington. You're not allowed to pick the Washington football team.
Washington.
You are so slanderous against that football team.
True. Battle game, Chiefs-Ravens, Sunday night football. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night.
Carrie Underwood still doing a fantastic job across the board with the Sunday night football. Just give her a lifetime contract.
I think she has one.
Just give her more money on the lifetime contract.
Sure.
She's just some kind of...
Can we take some of that money and give it to Marcus Semien?
Can we take some of that money and reinvest it into the Nashville Predators, your former husband's team?
Fair.
No, your current husband, former team.
Yeah,
let's not start rumors here. We're not E-Entertainment.
Anyways, battle game, who you got?
Not going to overthink this one. I already got her typed in. It's got to be the Chiefs. I mean, they're kind of a team that they got smacked in the mouth a little bit. I don't think they were expecting the Browns to come out and give them that kind of game. Cleveland's obviously been pretty hyped this year, but a 33-29 result. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to find a way to be Patrick Mahomes and really separate himself from Lamar Jackson here. I think Lamar Jackson is dealing with feeling like he has to put the entire team on his back given their injury concerns to start the season. I got to go with the Chiefs here.
Okay, I'll take the Ravens. I think it's going to be a tough one for the Ravens.
It's going to be a great game.
It should be, by all accounts, it should be a good game.
We should put a counter on that. It's like the Allen Iverson practice. It's going to be a great game.
I mean,
it's going to be a great game.
Sheridan Davis is telling you to take it easy. I don't know if he's a Colts fan or what, but he's telling you to take it easy.
I'm just saying.
Lane Ardell, as per usual, is chirping. I think he's chirping me. He said, "Wow, that's like your cohort's love for the Leafs showing." Now, I'm not sure what he was referring to, what statement we made that was the case. Yeah. But either way,
we make a lot of statements in a night.
He loves, exactly, a lot of statements. And Jeremy Corrigan says, "Bears over the Bengals." Again,
Jeremy, I watched the Bears play on Sunday night. Ain't nothing inspiring me about that squad.
Yeah, not yet. And
the Bengals coming out with an overtime victory against the Vikings.
I think the Bengals have a little bit of that magic.
Joe Burrow.
We'll see.
They say that kid's
Shout out Chad Isaac, the only Bengals fan still in existence in Canada.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chad. This logo here doesn't have a ton of fans this side of the border either.
I do know another Bengals fan, I should say. I will say that. I do know one other one.
You do know one other one.
Anyways, that'll wrap it up. So there you go. I got the Bucks, Saints, Patriots, Bills, and Ravens. Max has the Browns, Cardinals, Packers, Rams, and Chiefs.
Cool. I like that lineup. Yeah. I love my lineup.
Couple of good teams in that lineup. So that'll do it here for basically us tonight, I think. One note we will say, and I mentioned it kind of before we started the Bluebird block, but this is episode 50. So thank you, everybody, for making this happen. 50 episodes in is unbelievable. I know Max posted that, who would have thought we'd get to 50 episodes.
For sure thought we would have been canceled around episode 23, 24.
Well, yeah, given the fact that, yeah, exactly. So we're thankful that we're here. Shout out to, again, all of our sponsors, and we'll get to that in our closing statements for the night. But, huge shout out to a couple of important people, Paul Duran at IKS Media, the Theris family at RoxDar, the folks over at Vigor Lifestyle, who we haven't shout out as much, but they helped us get off the ground.
Absolutely.
So thanks to them. And, more important than anyone, Director Jordan in the back has been absolutely crushing it. And honestly, we wouldn't have been able to do what we can do on the show without Jordan. Shout out Jordan.
Cue the Kevin Durant.
Jordan's a real MVP.
You're the real MVP.
Yeah. Thanks, Jordan. And everybody, please send in some comments and shout outs to Jordan as well, because
it literally doesn't go without Jordan.
He doesn't get the kudos that he deserves.
We can talk all we want, but if these don't work and that doesn't work and everything else doesn't work, we're hooped.
Yeah. I'm buttering up Jordan real good. And speaking of
I was going to say, you guys are going to have a really good Wednesday at work together.
Yeah, well, we're going for lunch tomorrow. So.
Oh, well, that's nice. Are you going to treat him to lunch?
Technically. I'll say technically. And we'll move on.
Maybe that earned a few dollars. Maybe he'll cover the tip now that you gave him some nice.
No, I will do the tip.
Yeah, good work.
Anyways, again, huge shout out to everybody. And of course, our other sponsors as well, RBI, HoopLife, everybody else, Original 16. Shout out to you guys coming on board lately. Great Western Brewing Company, obviously. And, everybody else.
Basketball training, like it goes.
Flame Tech Combustion Services has been mixed in there as we've gone.
Absolutely.
So, of course, big shout out to those. We do have a teaser for you. Now, how many people are tuning in here? We have a few people left on Facebook. We have a few on YouTube. Oh, we have quite a few on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube. We got a couple on Twitter as well, so we do have some people tuning in. So we do have a teaser. We have a bit of a switch, I'll say, coming up for our 52nd episode. So that is going to be not next week. Oh, look at this slow zoom. Not next week, but the week after. The week after that is going to be our 52nd episode. We're going to try to have our big extravaganza of an episode in terms of our guests that night. Kind of a celebration to some of our bigger, people who have come on several times, I guess, some of our more regular guests. We're going to try to get them on and have a really good chat. Oh, yes, you know what? Donna Berger says, don't forget to thank your wife, Clark. Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, wife. You can thank your wife.
Amber, I know that you haven't watched a single minute of the show, but you support me in every other area of my life. So I love you very much, honey.
Thanks for not watching a single minute, Amber.
And I can say that confidently knowing that she's not tuned in tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
No, it's like the TikTok now.
And we are going to delete this segment.
The TikTok now of the text. We have to talk when we get home. Yeah. Yes, we do.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. So anyways, so that's, we have a little bit of a thing happening in 2 weeks that you're going to notice both on the show, surrounding some of our social media channels, et cetera, et cetera. So we're pretty excited for it. I think it's going to kind of be the next step of what we are going to be.
It's a launch into the future. It's what Bill Belichick committed to when he selected Mac Jones with the 15th overall pick in the draft this year. It's signaling towards the future.
Yeah.
It's been a fantastic 50 episodes so far, and hopefully we continue to have many more. As Clark alluded to, with all the thanks going to everybody that made this possible, from our partners, from our landlords, from our absolutely everybody involved. This has just been an incredible experience, and I think I can only speak to exactly what I maybe put the message out today on social media is if you told me that about a year ago today that we would be lining up to do this 50 weeks in a row, going on a full year anniversary, I would have laughed you out of the room because it's been an incredible experience for I know myself and gaining some very good lifelong friends. And it, like I said, it's the power of sports, as Darrin Bauming alluded to it earlier. It's a great societal thing. It's a great peace of mind thing. And it's just a fun thing to yell on a microphone and talk sports. So thank you all for the opportunity to do that.
Next week on this and I should say, our show is not going to, we're not changing in terms of what we're doing weekly on the show. No. It's just going to be some bells and whistles.
Some bells and whistles,
so to speak. Next week on the show, Leroy and Leroy are going to try again. And chances are there's going to be a tropical storm that day too. But
Hurricane Leroy coming into town.
We're going to get the Leroys in here eventually. And I think next week is
we are going to have our good friends at HoopLife to come and kind of keep us abreast of the situation going on with all the contract things we were talking about earlier. Obviously, as excited as we are about hockey season being around the corner, I know they are equally as excited about their local basketball season coming up in addition to what's going on in the association. So
tomorrow
it's gonna be a fun
on the RP show upstairs, Justin Dunk of 3 Down Nation is going to be on. So CFL fans, make sure you tune in for that one. It's going to be a great chat with Justin. And there's another guest in the hour too that I'm still waiting to firm up. Hopefully that happens soon.
I was going to say TikTok on the clock.
Yeah, what time is it?
8:51. So
we got to get out of here so that Jordan.
Hey, you
can
got
go
Myron
home.
maybe. Myron can be your backup.
Myron, you want to come on the RP show tomorrow? Anyways, we're going to call it a night here. Again, thanks to everybody. Thanks to all our sponsors. Thanks to you for watching, of course, making it all go and keeping it active on the engagement. Appreciate everything you guys do as viewers. And we will see you again 1 week from now for episode 51.
51.
Yes. Who wears 50? The Jake Gardner episode.
The
Jake Gardner.
Good night, everybody.
See
Take
you guys
care.
in a week.